Hey, hi, hello. This is Friend Dog Studios. I'm Ben Oksher, and welcome to Brian Wants to Do a Podcast.
I'm Brian Huther, and I want to do a podcast.
We have been friends, roommates, writing partners for quite a while, and Brian, he's always hitting me up with ideas. He's got a lot of them. He's got an endless...
ring. Ben.
Oh, hold
Ben,
on.
your
Let
phone-
me answer
your
my
phone is
rotary
answering.
phone.
Your phone is answering.
Let me call my answer phone here.
Okay.
Hello?
Did you pick it up?
I did.
Okay, good. I hear you on my phone.
Mhm.
Ben, I have an idea for a podcast.
That's basically how it goes every day for several minutes. So what we are going to do here is figure out which of these podcast ideas is going to be the winning format going forward.
This is an exploratory podcast for us.
Yes. Yeah. So bear with us while we figure out what the podcast is. Brian's got a new idea that he wanted to hit me with. I haven't heard it yet. I genuinely haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
Have at it, my friend.
A lot of times I think about what things are already popular and maybe don't have a podcast yet.
Oh, wow. That's got to be an ever-shrinking list.
I like the idea of maybe like weekly updates on the life of some celebrity or other.
So like a personal paparazzi podcast.
Like day to day, like Monday. Here's what Ariana Grande did on Monday of this week.
Oh, wow.
Here's what Ariana Grande did on Tuesday of this week. And then that night, according to her Snapchat story, here's what we can piece together. We're doing like timelines. We're doing corkboard with red string. Like we are obsessing because I know there's something, there's got to be someone out there doing an Ariana Grande fan podcast, but
now
we could do it. We just have to do it bigger, better, and more grande. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, first of all, now it has to be about Ariana Grande.
Does it now? I was just using that as an example.
Well, I guess it doesn't, but we've got the title.
Okay.
I guess.
Wait, what's the title?
Grande Today.
Oh, that's pretty good. I had another one, which is Ariana My Level.
It's Entertainment Tonight meets TMZ meets a 24-hour news cycle, but for one person.
Here's the other thing about it, Ben, which I'm going to admit straight off the bat, because if I don't, it's going to be eating me up the whole time.
Yeah.
I think Ariana Grande is so cute. I want to...
Oh, boy, what an admission to make.
I know. Here's the thing. If you show a woman or a man or any person that you are interested in, that you are obsessively interested in them to the point where you will fill your waking hours, build your career around the pursuit of any and all information you can find about them, that's an attractive thing to do. That is the kind of thing that shows a commitment to a relationship that very few would dare to show. And so, I think that maybe if I could just make enough of a splash online, I could get her to at me and then slide into her DMs and then...
Okay, so This got a little less cute.
This is not my primary interest. This is, to me, a possible perk. I want to make that clear. My primary reason for doing this would be to serve the Ariana Grande fans who are already out there who want to know. I would be a conduit. I would be a river to my people, there to pass along the waters of information of the Grande River. That's a real river, isn't it?
I have my doubts about that being your primary concern, and here's why. Because in about a minute, maybe, we went from a concept generally about celebrity updates to very specifically about you becoming a river to Ariana Grande in a sort of courtship by stalking situation.
It does not
that you would
sound
hope
good.
To lead to an at.
I started this off. I was just like, I had the title Ariana My Level. I thought that was cute, but I'm also like, whatever. She's already very popular. We could find a minor celebrity. We can let's scrap Ariana Grande. Let's move on to someone else. What's a minor celebrity that most people are not?
Pat Sajak.
Pat Sajak. That is an excellent, Ben. That is so much better than Ariana Grande. Pat Sajak fan podcast. We track so I am going to get on my computer and Google right now Pat Sajak, and I'm going to find the latest news about Pat, my boy, and see what kinds of words might describe him. December 20th, 2019, Pat Sajak reveals details about emergency surgery and thanks Vanna White for subbing, which thanks Vanna White for subbing is, I'm assuming that she was a substitute host
Yeah.
on Wheel of Fortune.
I don't
and
think it's
not that
probably a kink thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that strikes me about that headline, other than the juicy double entendre, is that it is, Brian, more than a month old. And this is why the Pat Sajak fan community is being underserviced.
They are. This is like
we could
would
be
meeting
bringing daily updates. Can I buy a pal is what it would be called.
a what?
Can I buy a pal? I'm just spitballing, Brian. But you know how on that show they say, "Can I buy a vowel?"
Yes.
And pal and vowel, admittedly, are not perfect rhymes.
I think we can keep workshopping it.
Okay. Can
I do want to
buy-
read you some of this article though.
All right.
There's a ABC News exclusive. There's a screenshot from this story. It says, and ABC News exclusive in red letters. Pat Sajak speaks out. First interview since health scare took him off.
Was this written by an orc?
It was read by one. It says, first quote, I'll be selling vowels for a long time. Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak.
Oh no!
promised.
Here's the real. Here's the real headline. Sundowning Pat Sajak now thinks he actually owns letters.
No.
I'm the letter tycoon of television.
He thinks he owns the alphabet.
Yeah.
Anytime someone sings the ABCs, his
hand is outstretched for a royalty check.
I use letters every single day and I don't pay a cent for it. Am
No.
I a bad person?
No, letters should be free. And if Bernie Sanders is elected, they will be.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's going to ruin the economy.
It will, but I'm still in favor. Okay, so but yes, you're right. Like this is old. So I want to see if I can find anything more recent.
Okay. More recent news about my
news,
boy Pat.
Pat Sajak. Oh, 5 hours ago, Benjamin. 5 hours ago.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Okay, Wheel of Fortune contestant leaves Pat Sajak speechless
All right.
with NSFW answer.
All right. Well, that sounds like clickbaity nonsense. That's not what we're interested. We're journalists.
It doesn't matter. This is one of the things that happened to Pat Sajak in the last week.
I suppose so.
Well, that's one way to leave an impression. It says, on Wednesday, Wheel of Fortune contestant Marie Leo got a little mixed up during a bonus round and offered an NSFW answer on the family-friendly game show. Leo immediately knew her answer was wrong. Pat Sajak's silence made that clear. But viewers
angry silence.
Viewers at home didn't seem to mind as they quickly proclaimed her a Wheel of Fortune champion. What does this say? What did she actually say?
What did she say? I am so prepared to be underwhelmed right now that I'm already mad.
You're gonna love it.
What did
You
she
are gonna kick your socks off and wave them around like a couple of. You're gonna be doing semaphore with your own goddamn socks, saying, "Pat Sajak, you can keep the letters. I've got this now."
Brian, there are maybe half a dozen things in my life that have made me react in that way. I doubt this is going to be the seventh.
Guess the phrase consisted of a 7-letter word followed by a 4-letter word based on just 3 letters. A task that is, by all objective accounts, very difficult.
I like that by all of boy. And you know what? I sympathize because I've had to write bullshit before, and I'll probably have to write bullshit in the future.
No.
But just trying to stretch out somebody said a naughty word on Wheel of Fortune into a full article and getting to the point where you're like, by all objective accounts, as though there are scientists working in a lab somewhere trying to determine the objective difficulty of solving this particular type
This
of
person
Wheel
at
of Fortune
Decider
puzzle.
is like, it's getting close to deadline time. Clickety, clickety, clickety.
Have you heard back from your source at the lab? Not yet. We need that confirmation, damn it.
With time running out, Leo had no choice but to just go for it. Chasing tail? She asked, giggling. She immediately corrected herself, saying, no, but it was too late.
That's not even...
Time expired and the correct non-sexual answer was revealed. Kicking back.
Chasing tail isn't even necessarily a sexual phrase.
You could be doing so many things. For example,
dogs chase their tails. Chasing your tail is used as
be a fox hunter.
Well,
man. I mean, there's a lot to mine here.
But do
about
you
Pat
think
Sajak.
on our podcast, which maybe would be called the Pat Down, do you think that we would be focused on anything that happened on the Wheel of Fortune stage that's already been broadcast to people? Because I don't think so.
No. I think that
we're
would
going to be covering.
That'd be about a 5-minute section at the very beginning. It's just like, all right, let's
what
just
happened
review.
on Wheel.
We had 5 episodes. Here's a minute for each of them. Some people guessed some words. Pat Sajak had a cool smirk. Pat Sajak had a great little improvisation where he's like, thanks, Vanna. Don't drop the T. Like, you know what I mean? Like, really just like covering all the little things and then updating the wiki and making sure that all of that is there and that it's correct. And then like we can update some stats and just be like, there were more R's on this episode of Wheel of Fortune.
You think we would become Wheel of Fortune stat nerds like there are baseball stat nerds?
I think there are people who want to know that kind of thing and they don't have a chance to learn it right now. But then I think we would quickly move to Pat Sajak, his personal life, his inner psychology. I mean, we are trying to get inside the mind of a man who has entertained millions for years and years and years and will continue to do so.
Yeah.
And he will sell his vowels until the day that he dies.
Until he takes a vowel of silence.
Oh my God. That's really good.
I can't be stopped.
What about vowel of loudness for the title? Nope, not so good.
That's too many steps removed.
Okay.
I think that there might be something here to the idea of an in-depth celebrity podcast, but not for someone that is super famous. For someone who is minorly famous.
Well, Pat Sajak, like everybody knows that name.
Right. That's Pat Sajak belongs in a special sort of category of fame to me.
I thought you were going to say a museum. We could establish a Pat Sajak museum.
Sure.
There could be animatronic Pat Sajaks everywhere. You know what? Here's the thing that concerns me about that idea.
What's that?
As soon as I said it, I realized the danger implicit that Elon Musk would soon be writing think pieces about like, we cannot have this army of Pat Sajaks roaming the earth.
He would be having Twitter fights with Mark Zuckerberg about whether or not it's responsible to continue investing in Pat Sajak technology.
Can you imagine the words that could be spelled by 17,000 Pat Sajaks?
We'd have all new dictionaries tomorrow.
Yeah, and with that language that they created, they could communicate and pass back and forth secret codes, little love notes and class notes.
Right.
Like, do you like me? Yes, no. Do you want to kill all the people? Yes,
it would
no.
be the Enigma code all over again. And we would need a new Alan Turing of this generation to put together a machine to decode the Sajaks.
He's just like hidden in a shack somewhere, just like, I gotta buy a vowel. I gotta buy a vowel. He can't figure it out.
Benedict Cumberbatch is pulling on his hair. A bunch of people are like, it's never going to work. And he's like, but look at the gears.
Yeah.
Did you see that movie?
I did see that movie. What was it called? It was called...
The Enigma Machine.
No, what was it called, though? It was called...
The Enigma Machine?
Was it?
The Enigma Code? Hold on, the internet knows. Hold on. Hey, podcast audience, why don't you shut up for a minute?
Yeah.
Go away while we Google the name of a film from a few years ago.
Stop yelling. We haven't taken a break in 5 years. We just need to find this.
What is it called? No, the internet. Did this movie happen? Is this a Berenstein? The Imitation Game.
Yeah, that's what it was called.
Yeah. I had all the words right except for 2/3 of them.
I'm really worried about the Pat Sajak threat at this point. If you just Google Pat Sajak, like the first picture that comes up is dastardly. I mean, he is a rodent of a man with this smirk on his face that he is so excited about the terrible things that he is about to do.
When you were reading that article about the woman who said the NSFW and Pat Sajak's silence that clued her into her egregious misstep, I felt a little chill go down my spine because I imagined being the object of Pat Sajak's stony silence.
Yeah.
And it did make me feel deeply uncomfortable.
That's some like no more please daddy kind of energy. It's like oh no,
I don't want you to ever say that phrase again. What the fuck?
That I'm imagining Pat Sajak as my father, and I say something like, Daddy, I want to be an actor. And then Pat Sajak just stares back at me, and in my brain, I'm just like the cortisol in my childhood brain is just dripping down, creating depression and anxiety pathways that will be with me for the rest of my life. And my brain somewhere deep inside is like, no more daddy.
And that's the Pat Sajak energy.
I think so.
America's weird uncle who's been playing his word games.
Look, I know we really should move on from just talking about Pat Sajak.
And yet I can't.
I can't. And here's I just found his Twitter account.
I bet he's real good at that. He knows all the letters.
Yeah, he does. 140 characters. Are you kidding?
He could do that in his sleep.
I'm trying to pick a good one. Imagine how hashtag activists could have altered world history with movements like hands off Sudetenland. Sudetenland? I don't know what that is. Oh, this one's better. Or Attila is not my hun.
Is he making historical Me Too jokes? Is that what that is?
He's doing hashtags about important issues and like political movements through history. That's not maybe that was not a hit. Here's another one. I'm so disappointed. Do you know what a Peloton is? It's like an exercise bike.
An exercise bike for rich people.
Yes. I'm so disappointed in my new Peloton bike. I was able to hang so many more clothes on my old machine.
Oh, that's relatable.
Killing it, Pat.
That's relatable.
Yeah, it's relatable. It's cute. He's got this sense of humor.
Yeah.
He's on there. God, oh, man.
And, Pat Sajak's not going to pretend he's not rich. Come on. He's been on the television box for decades. Everyone who needs a vowel comes through him. He's the godfather of letters.
I feel bad about what I said about him before.
What's that? What did you
I
say?
said that he was a rodent of a man, and what is he hiding in that chin?
And that he has no more please daddy energy.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be able to wash the wrinkles out of my brain that has formed. Brian, how many episodes of Wheel of Fortune has Pat Sajak hosted?
Okay, just let me do some calculations in my brain real quick.
Okay. We'll put the Jeopardy thinking music here just to piss everybody off.
There's got to be Wheel of Fortune thinking music.
Probably. I haven't watched it in years.
I'm gonna say 7,000.
You Googled that, you son of a
Wait,
bitch.
what? Is that close?
That's exactly the result. You Googled that.
I did not.
Fuck you.
I did not. Come over
hands
here.
Up. Hands up. I'm coming over to look at your.
Look.
I'm coming over to look at your screen.
I estimated how many episodes in a year. Maybe I thought 400, but that's not even close. And then I thought how many years? 40 years, 45 years, 300 episodes a year. I did a little math inside my head.
This is the sports scandal of a generation, folks. Brian has been caught cheating.
I was not. You looked
doping.
at my computer.
Yeah, you must have hid the evidence before I got over there.
I did not.
Trying to pretend you're some kind of game show Rain Man. Just
I did
putting
not.
It all
I just
together
made a
in
guess.
Your head.
Ben,
7,000
it was
episodes.
a 1 in an infinite number chance. No, like it was going to be somewhere between 10,000 and 1,000, right? So,
according to Deadline, the syndicated version of Wheel of Fortune has been hosted continuously by Sajak and White since its inception in 1982. It is the longest-running syndicated game show in the U.S. with 7,000... Well, there have been more now, but as of when this was written, with 7,000 episodes taped and aired as of May 10th, 2019.
I haven't even wiped my butt 7,000 times. I swear to heck. That is a lot of numbers of times.
I feel like you should have probably wiped your butt 7,000 times by now.
Ben, can you imagine how chafed my butt would be?
You don't do it consecutively. You don't do it in a row. You do it after you poop, you wipe it a few times, and then the next time you poop, you wipe it a few more. Unless you have a ghost wipe, which is so rare, it's Halley's Comet rare.
I've got a better plan than a ghost wipe, Ben.
What's that?
It's you compound the interest on all the wipes you've done. You earn interest on it. Mm-hmm. So you have to wipe less and less throughout your life because some of those wipes are coming back in like 2%. You got 2% of a wipe here. And then every year, compound interest. You ever do that game in school? That little answer this math problem, you dumb little shit game?
Well, I'm a little confused on your definition of what a game is, but compound interest, sure.
Yeah, so it's compounded. And like by the time you're 50 years old, you've wiped your butt so many times and you've earned so much interest on those wipes, you don't even have to anymore. Think about that. Think about what life would be like if at a certain point you didn't even have to wipe your butt.
If the poop that slid between your cheeks no longer left anything behind.
Yeah, I mean, as it came out, it would be like, "Oh, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, I didn't realize." Like you just bumped into Barack Obama or something on the street, and just
Right.
you
But
know.
in this scenario, you are a turd, and Barack Obama is one of two ass cheeks of a 58-year-old man who has prudently invested in his wiping.
Yeah, you got to diversify your assets.
Your assets. God damn it. There should be a noise that happens. Let's insert
Here's
a
what it is.
noise here.
I think that when we do the real podcast, whatever that is.
Which this is not the podcast, by the way. We're trying
to work it out.
We're trying to figure out what the podcast is
When we
about.
do the real podcast, we should just every time we just say we don't acknowledge puns on this podcast. I think that should be the company line. And anytime one of them comes along, we just
I'm not going to look at it. We don't negotiate with terrorists, and we don't acknowledge puns. So the idea was a daily podcast about a celebrity.
yeah.
Let's talk pros, cons.
Yeah.
Any pros or cons you can think of.
Pros, I think that it would be unique. I don't think that there is a Pat Sajak or fan cast.
I'm not seeing anything on the first page of Google, and if it's not on the first page, it doesn't exist. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
then there's also Wheel of Fortune. I dropped a stapler.
God damn it! What he wasn't even using a stapler.
I was trying to put my thoughts together.
I'm not acknowledging that.
If after some workshopping, some focus grouping, we decided we were going to go with Pat Sajak, we would be the only people in the game.
Yeah.
We would be the only ones. We could run that field.
Yeah, that's true.
We could run it.
Another potential pro is that maybe there hasn't been a whole lot of digging into Pat Sajak yet, and maybe we could find something that becomes more explosive.
We're an investigative podcast at that point.
And we don't know what we're investigating. It's very much the exploratory science sort of investigation.
That's how they did S-Town.
Yeah, sort
didn't
of.
know.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
I mean, they had a tip on a potential crime. And then
By
they
the
were
end,
like,
there was nothing there.
right.
It was all a dream.
So what about cons?
Oh, I've got another pro though.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, we're gonna meet Pat Sajak.
You think
It
so?
would. Oh, it definitely would happen if we got 1,000 people who listened religiously, and then we were just like, we want to meet Pat Sajak. We want to interview him for our podcast. We would absolutely, Ben. There's no question in my mind that we would shake hands with the man who said 1,000 words.
The first person ever to say 1,000 words.
Cons.
Okay, cons.
I don't give a shit about Wheel of Fortune or Pat Sajak.
Yeah, that's a major con. They say do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Follow Pat Sajak around and all you do is work for no money.
That is the complete.
That's the rest of the idiom that you don't hear very often.
Yeah.
We got pros, we got cons. Scale of 1 to 10, Brian. And maybe start thinking about this and maybe I'll answer first. But scale of 1 to 10, 1 being there's no way, can't do this podcast, won't do this podcast. 10 being this is going to be the next big thing. It's going to make us rich. Where do you put this? I would put this at I'm cautiously optimistic. If it's about Pat Sajak or someone who falls into that same category of like a celebrity everyone knows about but no one thinks about, 6.
I was gonna say 7. Yeah, I mean it's up there. Like the novelty of it.
Yeah.
Like I think we'd get a lot of like ironic listening.
And then we get some ironic sponsors.
Yeah.
And we could
It could be sponsored by the letter L. You know, it's like this
like Sesame
episode,
Street.
This episode of Pat to the Max. No, wait. Take Pat to the mat. I don't know.
It's called Can I Buy a Pal?
You're right.
And it's going to be the future.
You're
Da da da. Outro music now.
no more daddy.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Brian Wants to Do a Podcast. If you like that, hey, let us know about it. You can find us online, Friend Dog Studios. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I think on Twitter, it's Friend Dog Studio. If you'd like to support what we do, you can go to patreon.com/frienddog and kick a little money our way to help us do what we do. It's the internet, and you're probably a millennial. You know what Patreon is. I don't have to patronize you about that.
We got a lot of fans that are boomers, Gen Xers.
That's true.
We have mass appeal as long as it's not young, cool people.
Yeah, that's true. We don't have anybody like younger than our
Except
generation.
for, there was that kid in 2016 at the very end when we released that 2016 video. He was messaging our Facebook account, and he said that sometimes he watches our videos when he feels sad, so he don't feel sad anymore.
Oh, that's
It's a real story.
Look, if we can change just one person's life, that's weird because we weren't setting out to do that.
That's not really what we meant to do.
Special shout out to our newest patrons on Patreon, Emily Bernhard and Chaz Kaufman. Welcome to the club. Thanks for listening.